Bloody good hard days, yakka, with me and my dad working on the car, working on the farm, with me and my dad out in the sun. Bloody pulled out the tractor with me and my dad. Bloody working on the bloody new shed with me and my dad.
I'm a bit sick at the moment, eh? I don't even know how this happens, bro, cause I take mad care of myself. Anyways, bro, it's the NZ Loch Ness. You already know, G. Here to fulfill my purpose by helping you fulfill yours, bro. You're locked in with Lachlan. Check out the new camera, bro. Now, look at that. Look how smooth it looks. Got the nunchucks on the bag, G. Hey, you're gonna see way more clips of this stuff, bro. But low-key it's cold as shit, which makes it a bit hard jamming this. Maybe I should get some gloves or something. Some real ninja.
So there's a lot of research to suggest and back up the fact that
yeah, check out the physique, you bastards. Your boy looks sexy.
it really does amaze me the amount of useless dads there are out there. The amount of dads who really don't give their sons any sort of essence to live by, any sort of code to live by, any sort of moral to live by, any sort of legacy. The amount of fathers that don't leave a legacy to their children is just insane. Because it's most of them, really. Okay? Most fathers, you know, that their son sees their father get told what to do all their life by their mothers, you know. Their fathers lack emotional intelligence, but they brought them a PS4. They brought them a PS5. Okay, bro, you know? And it's like, you see it everywhere, like at work, okay? This father, he comes in, fat ass, bro, like legit, like this big, bro. Like the guy probably couldn't do, the guy could probably just get murdered by like a 60 kg boxer that's 13 years old, you know what I mean? And he comes into work and he's like, oh, there's no sausage rolls in the cabinet. There's no sausage rolls left. If you don't know what sausage rolls are, they're like a pastry sort of thing with a sausage in the middle. It's like a New Zealand thing, okay? And a lot of big fat fathers come in and buy it, you know, with their son. But yeah, so he comes in, oh, there's no sausage rolls, and the son's standing there like pissed off as well because there's no sausage rolls. And it's like, bro, imagine being that. Imagine being a grown-ass man, bro, you know? Okay, so cool, you've sorted out your house, you've sorted out a job, you know, you've got the car, you know, you pick up your son from school, and then you both go to a gas station, and you get sulky because they got no sausage rolls. Imagine being like that, you know? Like, imagine going back tens of thousands of years, bro. Your frickin' ancestors going through the shiznit, bro. Your ancestors got the mad toothache. You know, he's had to frickin' fight off a couple saber-toothed tigers. Imagine the thought he'd think of. His genetics got passed on to some fat guy who had no legacy, bro. And he's getting mad about some sausage rolls, okay? And it's just pathetic. Like, how could you do that? How could you be like that as a grown-ass man, you know? And you see it everywhere, bro. Like, everyone's dad, most people's dads are just useless ads. Like, they finish work, they sit there with their bears, and they think they're a real man because they've got, like, some dead skin on their hands, and they know how to change a tire. You know what I mean? And then they look at someone like me, right? They think I'm like childish because I got my nunchucks. They think I'm childish because I got a Batman poster on my wall, you know, and I still live with my mum. And it's like, bro, yous have no clue, bro. Yous have no clue. You can't run a kilometer, okay? You lack discipline, okay? All you've done is get told what to do and do what you're told to do your whole life. And you're fat and you're useless, bro. Like, okay, sure, you've got all this material shit, okay, and it's cool to have material stuff, but you've got no essence to back up yourself. You've got no legacy behind you. If you died, you wouldn't have any remembrance of the person you are. You know what I mean? You just see it everywhere, bro. The amount of useless fathers is just insane in this world. And the amount of people that live by like, oh, happy wife, happy life. Bro, if I ever say that, bro, and I'm like above 25, you can just shoot me, bro. Just shoot me in the head, bro. Shoot me in the head, bro. Okay? I ain't no pansy motherfucker, alright? I call no man daddy, alright? Like, what's the point of having a father in your life if you just like finish school? You know, this is like the average life, bro. The kid finishes school, he like plays the game, maybe does some homework, and the dad's like, oh, how was your day, son? Oh, f*** up, bro. You f***ing useless motherfuckers, bro. Okay, and it's like it's happened on purpose, you know what I mean? There's no, you know, you don't see fathers and you don't really see fathers nowadays like look at their son and be like, oh, what a fine young boy you've grown up to be. You will conquer. You will do all these things in your life. Nah, they're like, oh, where's the sausage rolls at? Where's the sausage rolls at? Do you see what I mean, man? Oh, Jesus. Okay, and there's so much evidence to show that young boys that don't have a proper father around, it really sets them back. It really puts them at a disadvantage. Okay, but I'm kind of glad my dad's useless, bro, because I call no man daddy. I call no man daddy. Hey, and it's way cooler starting at a disadvantage and then being the advantaged one in the future. Alright? Bang, bang, bang. Young men that don't have proper male role models in the household and grow up with single mothers, they tend to commit suicide more, fall into depression more, lack emotional intelligence. You know, they're more likely to commit crimes, they're less likely to achieve academic success. Okay, so the disadvantages just go on and on and on. And no one really talks about it as much as they should, you know. And just because you don't have a male role model in your household doesn't mean that you can't find them in the community, you know. You could go to your local Muay Thai gym, you could go to your local judo classes, you could even go to your local chess club. I'm sure there'd be some proper, strong male role models that would teach you proper values and beliefs and some sort of legacy to live by. But just because you do have a male in the household, you know, your father, just because you do have a father in the household doesn't mean that you're going to have the advantage, because the truth is most grown men right now in our society today are not strong, they're not resilient, they lack emotional intelligence, you know. I work at a gas station, the amount of grown men that come in and get sulky because they don't get their marshmallows in their coffee.
Yeah, alright, I don't even know what that fella's on about. Let's watch a bloody scrap. Enough of that. Well, what's information and positive stuff about? Let's watch a bloody scrap. Let's get
Or they don't have sausage rolls in the cabinet for them to eat.
Yeah, we've heard this.
You know, and it's just like no wonder a lot of us young men grow up and we just feel lost and we feel weak without even realizing it. You know, my father wasn't around, he's just a bloody crackhead that lives in Tapuki somewhere. But, sorry, I'm a bit sick at the moment. But, yeah, the fathers that are around, a lot of them just, they don't leave their sons any sort of legacy. They don't teach them any core beliefs. They don't show strength or discipline. You know, they don't even teach their sons how to shave. They don't even teach their sons how to interact with females. They don't even teach their sons how to stand up to bullies. They don't teach them proper life lessons. But they'll make sure that they get the job and they maybe pass the exam. You know, it's just pathetic. It's just pathetic, you know. You see these fathers and their sons just play video games all the time, and they have no proper social circle, and their father just does nothing about it, like, because that's what their father's like as well. You know, how could you respect your father and get a proper life lesson or legacy from your father when they all look like this? You know, when they just drink beer and moan about life and, you know, get told what to do by their mothers or wives, you know. But yeah, it's not just like about the fathers being in the household, it's more about the engagement they have with the children, you know. Also, a lot of fathers, they probably get home and their son wants to wrestle with them, they want to play with them, they want to jump on their backs, but the father can't be bothered because they've been at work all day and they're super tired, even though jobs aren't really that physically tasking when you really think about it. Most fathers just lack discipline, you know. They don't have any discipline to say, oh, I don't really feel like playing with my son, but I know I should because this is going to help his brain develop properly. It's going to help his hormones function properly. Okay, and there's countless studies to back this up. Kids that play with their fathers, you know, wrestle with them and tuggle with them and all this sort of stuff, they just tend to be more successful. They tend to be less scared at trying things, you know. So, you know, a lot of fathers, they'll use the excuse of, oh, you know, I've been at work all day, but they don't use the thought of, oh, maybe I should not drink this beer so I, you know, feel better the next day and then I'll want to play with my kid more, you know. Yeah, and there's even studies that show males that grow up without a father in the household, without a strong father in the household, are more likely to hit their wife, hit their girlfriend, and hit their children when they become adult, which is pretty insane when you think about it. And it's really not talked about enough because young men, they need strong male role models. They need a strong father because that's what's going to shape their future, shape their whole life, you know. Otherwise, you are at a disadvantage without even realizing it. I'm statistically at a disadvantage. Okay, it doesn't really feel like that, you know, but I am, you know. For a while when I was growing up, I did lose my strength. I did start to become more emotional, more feminine. I'd cry a lot more. I would you know, moan about things a lot more. I would be a bit more scared a lot more. I'd think that, you know, physical tasking things are just bad overall, you know. And all I really needed was a father or like a proper male role model to show me the way and teach me that, oh nah, delayed gratification is where it's at, pretty much. You know, that's all I needed, bro. Just a couple words like, oh yeah, you just gotta toughen up a bit, bro. Like, let's go for a sprint, let's go for some sprints, take a spoonful of concrete and toughen up, you know what I mean? And I used to think, you know, if people say that, then that's toxic, but it's really not, bro. It's really not. And, you know, it's like most fathers nowadays, it's like they're just invisible, you know. Like I said, I see it all the time at work. Like, they come in and families come in and the mum, you can just tell the mother just hates her life because she's had kids and she's got a husband that she doesn't really like, and I guess she wished that she had intercourse with more men than she did. You know, she wished she could go back in time to when she was 20 and not have kids and do more drugs and things like that because, I don't know, they haven't meditated and connected with their higher self, so they lack internal validation from themselves. You know, it goes really deep. It goes really deep, and it's like almost most parents low-key hate their kids. Like, they'll take care of them and say they love them and blah blah blah, but they low-key despise their kids because their kids got in the way of them being able to party and do degenerate shit. And this is why I think having kids, most people shouldn't have kids, and a lot of people that do want kids are selfish in a way because they're bringing a being into this world without their consent, knowing that this being is going to suffer because they live in a shitty situation, they have a depressing vibe, they live depressing lives, you know, and they think this child's going to make it better. And it will, I suppose, for a lot of parents, but they don't think about the actual being that they're bringing into, you know. People say, oh, I'm having a baby, not a baby's coming. A baby is coming into this world, you know.
Damn, that fella can ramble on, can't he? I thought he was just gonna keep going forever. Well, congratulations, mate. You made it to the end of the video. Your attention span is way better than 99.2% of the population that's your age. I don't know what I'm talking about, bro. But nah, cheers for watching the video, bro. Yeah, we got more coming soon. We're really on the grind, bro. Yeah, we're really trying to make it out the hood. We're trying to get into a nice, clean home that doesn't have mold on the windowsills. You know what I'm saying? Peace out. NZ Loch Ness. Bang.